Welcome to Behind the Torch, a show dedicated to highlighting student organizations and clubs all around campus. Behind the Torch is a student-led and student-produced series of discussions featuring the students who embody what Northern Michigan University stands for. Today, I'm joined by Sam Colburn. Sam is the station manager of WUPX. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Semester is in full swing. How's it been going so far?
Good. It's been pretty busy at the station. We've had a lot going on. We just did a big Halloween show with some ghost hunting clips and stuff like that, and we're prepping some new stuff for winter semester, getting it all set and square.
You have a lot of upcoming projects in the works?
Yes, it's mainly one big project that I'll talk a bit more about later.
Talk a bit more about later. How did you get involved into Radio X? What kind of got you into that?
So Radio X, we have a lot of ways to recruit. Mainly, we do Fall Fest, like most student orgs, and that's what drew me in. They picked me up just off the streets of Fall Fest, and I've always been interested in music and stuff like that, and they're like, you get an hour of airtime, you get to play whatever you want. I'm like, that sounds really cool. And then, it just got me from there, and I've loved it ever since.
Is there anything specific you talk about in particular on your shows?
Honestly, I don't stick to more of a talk show thing. I'm more of just a play music and relax in the booth, but I tend, a lot my sophomore year, I discovered a ton of genres and stuff, so I jump around from hard rock to metal to indie pop and then back to just pop and just trying to show the diversity of Radio X through my show.
All over the place. I like it.
Yeah.
Now that you are kind of in a bigger role at Radio X, what kind of an impact do you see it has on campus?
It's honestly kind of crazy. I don't even think I fully understand the impact Radio X has, because I get new emails every single week from different alumni, different students, just different even local people from the community being like, hey, I tune in during my drive to work or my drive home or when I'm dropping my kids off and stuff like that. And so although radio can be seen as a dying art, we have more of a reach than I expected. So since I've joined, when I joined, we were kind of coming out of the pre-pandemic era of things have kind of died down, we were keeping it very low, and especially when you're in a booth and stuff, you got to keep it safe. I mean, you probably dealt with all that. But yeah, so the impact, it's changed a lot. We went from just kind of being an internal lockdown mode to still slowly branching back out into the community. We've gotten more involved in the live music scene as of late. We've been partnering with venues like the Ordoc and stuff like that, and just interviewing as many local artists and local sounds as we can. And yeah, as we branch more and more out, it's reaching more towards the community, and we're starting to work towards a lot of alumni relations and stuff like that we've been trying to build, especially with the 125th anniversary. So yeah, it is crazy. It's truly something unexpected and remarkable.
And that led you to the 2024 Organization of the Year.
It did. We won Organization of the Year last year, which was a complete shock, but a completely wonderful one. We'd worked our butts off last year, truly. And so it was nice to get kind of that recognition and stuff. And I don't know, it's nice to see, we had a really good staff last year, and seeing everyone, especially our old station manager, getting that recognition she deserved and stuff like that. And Radio X, although we're a part of the community and stuff like that, some people don't know our name. I will go around campus and I'll be like, yeah, I run the radio station. They'll be like, the what? And so getting us that Organization of the Year definitely brought us more to the forefront of people's minds and student orgs and stuff like that, which was amazing.
And going from that role, you were the assistant station manager last season, and now you are the head honcho, the station manager. How are you trying to build on that, saying, hey, we can go further?
It, again, is crazy. I started as PR director, so I was just doing cute little social media stuff and nothing too big or too crazy, to suddenly the entire station is at my fingertips. I have to run in, and I'm who they call if there are technical issues. So it's definitely a big switch and a big change, but like you said, there's a lot of room to improve and do new things. And so I've definitely been leaning more into the live music aspect of things. I personally meet with a ton of bands and stuff like that, and swapping music, swapping stories, and just reaching out more and more towards the community. It's really just are reaching out and expanding outwards in every way, shape, and form we can.
Has that really been one of the points of emphasis, is trying to get more involved in the community aspect of it?
Exactly. Back in like the 80s and 90s, we were super into the community and stuff like that. We were fully like integrated, and we had all these connections that have just fizzled out over the years. I mean, we're a student organization. I'm only gonna be here for 4 years. Our next station manager might be here for even less. It's just kind of a constant revolving door, so we tend to lose connections and stuff. So it's rebuilding those stronger so they'll last.
Trying to keep those involved. In your time at Radio X, you've been there a while. Have you had any personal favorite projects you've worked on? Anything that has just stood out to you?
Absolutely. I will say I do have passion for every project I work on at Radio X. That's the great part of, even if it's like not my thing, like one of the first projects I ever worked on was called Sports Shorts. And we interviewed a ton of the club sports teams around NMU, which I'm not a big sports person, if you can't tell. So it was definitely a different environment to be in, but it was genuinely so much fun to talk to all these different people with different perspectives and stuff like that. And that won one of our MAB awards last year, Michigan Association of Broadcasting Student Awards. And yeah, so that was my first ever project. That was really fun. My favorite has definitely got to be the artist interview series we're doing. Marquette has, although a small town, we are very mighty in our music scene. And so we have a lot of like crazy local bands spanning all genres, from like hardcore to like garage rock to like grunge to like, I just interviewed a math rock band, which is absolutely bonkers. They were amazing, but definitely making those connections and going out with bands and stuff like that, and showing up at like Ordoc gigs or the Crib or wherever around town, because we have all those amazing venues. And so that's definitely been my favorite, of just getting to go out there and ask like, hey, what are your crazy stories? Because every band has one, every single one. And so, what's a good one? There was a band, oh gosh, I wish I could remember their name. I interviewed them my freshman year. It was one of my first interviews. I was so nervous. But one of the parts of interviewing bands is you have to do research beforehand. I'm sure you're accustomed to that. And I saw on their like Facebook them like brutalistically sacrificing a pineapple on stage at like a music festival. And so I was sitting down with this guy. I was like, the last question. I'm like, hey, what's up with the pineapple? And he had this like crazy run-along story about how they were trading this pineapple back and forth, and it was like very important to this band member. And then the band member left for some reason, and then the pineapple stayed, and now like in his honor, they do this pineapple sacrifice at a ton of their shows, which is just, it's crazy. There's stories that I could never imagine that I'm learning from the local music scene that I love and appreciate so much, and it's great for the station.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to connect with all the bands and really trying to connect with everyone. Is that another one of the points, just trying to include everyone?
Exactly. We have a wide expanse of DJs from all different backgrounds, and it's wonderful to like tune into everyone's different show and see what we do, because we have stuff ranging from like talk shows to sports casting to just plain old music to like some heavy metal shows to like very pop shows. Again, it's a full spectrum at Radio X. And so definitely reaching out to like everyone is welcome at Radio X, and making that known to the community is very important in our mission and goals.
Awesome, awesome. You mentioned earlier at the start of the show that there was a couple of upcoming projects that we'd talk about later.
There is.
You have any upcoming projects in the works? Maybe you want to talk about it a little bit?
Well, we do as a station. Mainly Jack, our music director, has helped out a ton with it. But back before the pandemic, we did something called Live the X, where we'd invite any local bands who'd like to come and play live shows broadcasted over the air, and they'd also get like a recording of it, so they have like a fun like live session, very like tiny desk concert, NPR-esque. That's kind of what we're trying to emulate. And it fizzled out during the pandemic because we couldn't really have people in the station like that. And so this equipment, we have all this wonderful equipment that's been sitting in a closet since the pandemic that we finally like dug up and spent hours testing. We just last Saturday had one of my friend's local bands come in and test all the equipment with us with like a full drum kit, and hearing the acoustics in this little station and all these mics and cords and everything to this like beautiful rock and thriving sound was just amazing. And so hopefully it'll be launched by We were going for the end of November, but Thanksgiving break kind of trumped that. So it'll be after Thanksgiving break. We're gonna have one of our first bands in and then record them live over the air and bringing this tradition of Live at the X back that was maybe 10, 20 years in the making that fizzled out because of the darn pandemic.
Has that kind of been, was that one of your goals as when you took over, just kind of trying to get the local music scene more involved?
Absolutely. When I first came, we had connections internally around campus, and of course we still do, and they're wonderful, and we appreciate them, of course. But again, we didn't have as much outreach to the community as we wanted, and especially in Marquette, where it's so special with our thriving local music scene. Seriously, I didn't expect some tiny podunk city in the UP to have crazy rock bands and stuff like that. But we truly do, and we're so blessed to have it, but we're not exploring it. And as a radio station who deals with music and deals with this kind of stuff, it was so important to me that we got back out there and got more connected with artists and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that thriving music scene, say somebody is really interested in joining and trying to get more to know about it, what would be the best way of going about that to join Radio X?
So our best way definitely is we have a website through NMU. So just search WPX and it'll pop right up. It's an NMU University website, and it has all of our links to all of our staff, all of our DJs, and a little sign-up sheet so you can put your interest in if you're a student here. However, because we are a student organization, we can't have non-student DJs. It's like a fun little gray area that we have to pounce. So if you are an alumni or if you just have interest in the scene or anything like that, feel more than free to email whoever our station manager is at the time, which is me, or our music director, Jack, which is all listed on the website. It's probably the best way to get in contact with us. And also, you can just visit our station. We're in the Northern Center. We're down by cosmetology. Doors open most of the time. There's usually a DJ in the booth blaring something. And so, if you're ever around, anyone's more than welcome to swing by, steal some stickers, look at our t-shirts. We got a lot of fun stuff in there.
We'll definitely make sure to pop in at some point. Thank you, Sam, for coming onto the show today. And with that, that's all we have for this episode of Behind the Torch. We'll see you next time.